Good morning, students. For writing, we are going to be working on word choice. And word choice is important for us to use and important for us to understand because when you're doing writing, the choices of words you make directly affect the mood of the writing and the information that you're conveying and how effectively you're doing it. So, the way you can think about it like this: the way you would talk to a 2-year old is going to be different than how you would talk to a 7-year old, which is going to be different than how you would talk to a 15-year old. So there's different levels of the way that you communicate and the different words that you use. Now, we do it naturally often. When you think about talking to a 2-year old, you're not just going to start a conversation and say something like, "Oh, how are you doing? Like, how was your day?" Blah, 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 blah. Right? You're going to be a little bit more simple with your word choice. Just like when you were talking to a 7-year old versus a 15-year old, the way that you interact with them is going to be a little bit different based off of just different ages and maturity levels. So here we have a story from someone who has really enjoyed some of the work of the author Rick Riordan, who is the writer of The Lightning Thief. Now, as you read this over, it's going to sound odd because the person seems to be making choices for their words that don't really sync up perfectly. Now, um, I have a theory on this, and I think it's really funny when students sometimes do writing to make their writing a little bit more interesting. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll type it up on a computer and they'll right click the word and they'll look for a synonym. A synonym being a word that means a similar idea, but it's not identical. And they'll just add synonyms into their writing that are seemingly more challenging words. So it sounds like they're more intelligent than they actually are. And if you read through this letter, this is exactly what it sounds like. So this is from a gentleman by the name of Priya Gupta. Um, and this is what it says. Dear Mr. Riordan, I am corresponding to tell you that your compendium, The Lightning Thief, is my new beloved. I have been engrossed in Greek mythology since third grade when I composed an annal of it. I find the characters and legends engaging. My favorite character in your tome is Annabeth, Percy's friend, because she is acute, durable, and tenacious. She can do anything. I adulate the scene in which she makes Cerberus, the three-headed dog that guards the underworld, obey her decrees. When I obtain a greater number of years, I want to write adventure publications just like you. Do you have any consultations for me? Sincerely, Priya Gupta. I think Priya may be actually a girl's name. I'm not sure. I'm not very familiar with that word, that name. So, what's this person trying to convey? Well, obviously, they are first a big fan of the work that the author has done, and also they even have a specific scene that they've enjoyed. And it seems like they've liked reading Greek mythology since they're in third grade. At the end of it, the person says, "When I obtain a greater number of years, I want to write adventure publications just like you. Do you have any consultations for me?" There's a simpler way of saying that. I hope that you can figure out exactly what that would be. Um, but this is sometimes choosing more advanced words isn't really the solution to your problem. So if you can read this over and essentially rewrite this letter, except in a little bit more of simple terms, please try not to take out too much of the story or of the letter itself. You don't want to just turn it into like 3 sentences and call it quits. I'd like you to try to rework each sentence independently, make it a little bit more simple language, and yeah, this is our introduction into word choice. I hope this is helpful, and I will chat with you later.